Welcome to Tubbie Talk, where a group of nerdy best friends hop online to talk about everything life, parenthood, gaming, and probably embarrass themselves. Let's get started. Well, hello, Tubbie listeners. It is I, Kennedy, and I am joined by my troop of fellow Tubbies. We have Sierra.
Hello.
Danny.
Howdy.
And Trevor.
Welcome to the crypt.
When do you turn around?
What are you talking about?
If you're not watching with video, Trevor has his back to us and he's holding some props. Because guys, if you clicked on this episode, you're a fan of some creepypasta stuff. Let's be real, because we're going to be cannonballing into the world of cryptids, folklore, unsolved mysteries, urban legends, you name it. Yes, as Trevor's gesturing to the nice Bigfoot. So buckle up, because we're going to uncover what's been out there in the dark, peeking in through windows. It's probably a Chupacabra, but yeah, it's going to get weird, guys. So we're going to do this campfire style. So we're going to go through taking turns sharing our creepy research. So I'm going to kick it off to you, Sierra.
Wow. Okay. It's funny that I'm going first. This research was interesting because I'm not usually a fan of anything creepy at all. So I definitely had about an hour afterwards where I was like, I don't feel great about life right now. But yeah, so I decided to research the ghosts of Japan, specifically the taxi cab ghosts.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone has heard of this, and I actually had heard of this a couple of years ago when I think I watched an episode of Unsolved Mysteries about it.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
And essentially, it's a little bit of a more serious tale because it all originates back in 2011 when the big tsunami hit in Japan. And I'm blanking on the town, but I will pull it up just a second. But yeah, so there was a very large tsunami, which was very devastating. It was the town was called Tohoku. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And it was the result of an earthquake, and it was just this horrific disaster. And this is the not fun part because it's like real life. But yeah, a lot of people passed away, sadly. And following that, in the years following, there started to be some spooky appearances or experiences that people had. So one of the main things that was reported, I believe more than like 7 people had the same story of these taxi drivers would have passengers get into their car and basically oftentimes ask to go to a place that like maybe didn't exist anymore or like had been destroyed by the tsunami. There was even one driver who reported that the person asked to go to a place that had been destroyed, and then he said that it had been, it wasn't there anymore. And then she said, "Oh, have I died?"
Oh my gosh.
No.
And so that was one of them. And then a lot of them say that they'll like have someone get in their car and then start driving them somewhere, and then they'll turn around and they're just gone. They're just not there.
Oh my gosh.
So really weird. And yeah, it's multiple people like saying the same things. And some people claim they can just see ghosts at nighttime, just like wandering around and looking sad or things like that. And so something interesting that I came across in my research was that, I don't know. First of all, does everybody here, are we ghost people? Do we believe in ghosts?
Oh, man.
Oh, great question.
Because I've got some
Raise your
opinions
hands.
here.
Yes and no.
Okay, interesting. Anyone else have a brief answer?
I'm the same. I don't know if they're ghosts or like demons, but I feel like it happens because I've like seen a couple things myself.
Oh, interesting. Well, Danny, do you want to share?
Well, wait, Sarah, do you believe in ghosts? You can't
I
just
don't
ask.
believe in ghosts.
Neither of you.
Okay, well, I have an opinion. Basically the same as Kennedy. Like, I believe in, obviously, the supernatural realm, for sure. I do think, personally, that the concept of, like, people who've passed on coming back and communicating with us is not real. Like, personally, I think this is such deep, we're diving right in.
We're getting there.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think that personally, I think that they're probably like dark spirits, like potentially trying to like deceive people by like saying that they're their family member or something like that, and believing that like death is like, oh, you're just still here and there's no afterlife, or there's a weird afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, anywho,
moving on.
Are the across the research, did you find any violent occurrences of the taxi ghost? This was more of just a lost kind of spirit ghost vibe.
Yes, and I did find some interesting theories that may explain the phenomenon. And one of them, which I feel like is probably pretty likely, is just people suffering with like PTSD from living through such a crazy disaster and losing loved ones. And a lot of people, sadly, like, were never found. And so like a lot of it was just a crazy trauma that this like village experienced. So that could be potentially. But I also know that Japan in general, like, I have some friends who were or wanted to be missionaries in Japan and did some missions trips there, and like spiritually Japan is like very interesting and like can be pretty dark too. So I don't know, very interesting, but it made me sad, like, just researching it. Like, it was because it's so real, you know, and like it happened, and there was like video footage of like everything, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting phenomenon. I don't know. What are your all's react? Have you guys heard of that before?
I have not. I've heard of taxi ghosts and like things getting into your car and then like picking up hitchhikers and then suddenly they're not there. I've heard of those kind of things.
I didn't know that was like a thing.
That is like a thing.
Got it.
Isn't that how Disney got the hitchhiking ghosts from, like, that general idea? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe ghosts will get it from Disney.
Maybe.
You never know.
But like the tsunami, and I have not heard of that specifically being like a very common occurrence in Japan. But it is nice to know that they're not violent.
No, I think the general consensus is like they're the lost spirits trying to like move on, or potentially if they were someone who wasn't found, like to notify their family or something like that.
Gotcha.
Did you find in your research, did anyone like see their own family member they had lost? Like anyone they recognized, or was it always like
I believe so. I don't remember specifically, but yeah, I think so. There were like some stories of that. There were also in the video footage, I just have to mention this, there was like video footage of it happening, and there were like these weird like white clouds like rising from the debris as it was rolling by, and the video is like it's ghosts or whatever, and
just the way you said it. Oh, it's ghosts.
Well, the comments, I was like, there's no way that this is ghosts. Like, it literally looks like just what a cartoon white ghost would look like rising out of that. Yeah, it's like Casper. Like, I don't know. Like, and I was like, there is no way. And then sure enough, in the comments, it was like, oh, that's like some sort of gas canister, like, exploding or whatever. And I was like, some explanation. I was like, okay,
that's someone's
like, there's no way these ghosts have been caught on camera. This is wild.
That would be,
if that was real,
hard facts.
I should have seen it before.
Honestly.
Funny video, because it was like, it wasn't saying it wasn't ghosts, but it wasn't like claiming that it was, but I was like, if it's not, what do you think it is? Like, it was so weird. It was a strange little piece of media. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had. Did anyone have any other questions?
How long ago was it again?
The tsunami was in 2011, but I think people have
very recent
have seen the ghosts like recently. There was one guy who had like visions of the ghosts at night, and he wanted to get rid of them, and so he was going to, like, I guess the Buddhist version of an exorcism. And to try to get rid of them, but I don't think it worked. So yeah, people still experience it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, really crazy.
Wow.
Jeez,
good research.
Good
research.
That's a sad one to start us off.
I know, but it's okay. Well, it's only uphill from here, you know.
Are you sure?
On this up-twisted, scary, dark hill with the dead tree at the end. Oh
man.
Danny, what do you got? Hit us.
Well, the first one that I had heard of was jackalope. I remember like hearing about this and seeing this for a while. I'll tell you a little bit about it. So it originated in like around the 1930s, Wyoming. So you guys might know about these.
Yeehaw! Wyoming. What? I was there yesterday. Don't know what they talk like over there.
What? They're just like not from California. You're like, of course,
yeah,
they know the rest of the country.
Jackalopes. Vicious.
They are freaky.
They are basically jackrabbits with antlers, deer antlers on top of them. The origin story is two brothers. I don't know if they were just messing around or if they were just trying to make an extra buck. One of them was really good at taxidermy. So they, being the hunters that they are and obviously having a very imaginative mind, just spliced together some animal parts and started selling them around town. And named it jackalope. And that was that. They're obviously
what?
Are you sure?
Where
I've seen jackalopes.
Did they
They're all over
it was
the
just
place
for sale?
over here in Wyoming?
They sold them as they pawned them off originally as like we caught
some
this
new
in the
creature.
wild.
Yeah.
So it was rare, so they were able to sell it for more. I think that's how it originally started. Of course, there have been sightings all over America since then. So I wasn't able to research every single sighting, but
what are they supposed to do? Like, are they just they just exist, or
they're actually, some fun facts are they're technically a hare. They're not a rabbit. So even though they're
don't offend them.
Oops.
Come up.
Very important detail.
Kick you.
They're apparently super dangerous. Okay, so even though they're the size of a hare, there were stories that, and again, I don't know who started these, whether it was the brothers or not, but you had to wear. What was their phrasing? Iron stovepipes on your leg.
What is happening?
In order to make
Tanny,
sure
I don't.
It's in the research.
Facts. It's
there.
research. 100% accurate, Sierra.
Pull out in armor in Wyoming. You can't get your ankles bitten off by these
True facts.
You're like the Tin Man, just walking around.
They brought armor over from Europe to wear when they hunted these.
Yeah, they hunted them, and that's what they had to wear. They're super dangerous.
But why are they dangerous?
Is it teeth, antlers?
Are they supernatural?
Probably
or
the
they
antlers.
Just...
I don't know. There's not like a live action version of this that I saw.
Do they like morph into like big like when they're
like
Transformers just for your legs? They're little.
Yes.
Just the ankle.
But they're super dangerous, I guess.
Okay.
Apparently,
so funny.
just like all rabbits, they like to get frisky.
Hares, actually.
Oh, so that's why they swarm you.
Yeah.
They take you out by like a horde.
But the horns apparently make it really difficult. So it's like there's an issue.
I'm confused. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, what to think of this.
Okay, I have so many questions.
Wait, I'm not done with the story yet.
I need
Sarah, hold your question.
Okay.
No, ask if you
My
have
question
them.
is, are they supposed to be like dark and like demonic, or are they just some weird animal that someone made
pissed
up?
off?
And they're like, oh, by the way, they're dangerous.
To some, they're dangerous.
What
Crazy,
do you mean
creepy.
dangerous?
To others, they're just a little gag that they just put up on their wall as a...
They're like, lol.
So I actually, in my family, I think we have a mounted jackalope somewhere. So they are real.
Jackalope? Is that what it's called?
Jackalopes, yes.
Jackalope. Okay.
So now it's funny because these are actually one of the most popular, like people think that they're real because they have them mounted everywhere. So it's probably one of the most common cryptids that people think is a real like animal. Not saying it's not. I'm just it's like, but again, very dangerous, and they love to mate. And apparently, they can only mate because they are so dangerous in thunderstorms.
Wow.
This is
a tree too.
You better not be wearing your metal
sky when I make love.
I don't know why. There's no explanation why, but that's part of the lore. Okay, so this is some of the backstory. And then actually, the most interesting fun fact is they can copy human voices.
Yeah, man, you'll see that a lot.
So there's not. I know it's not like very cohesive of a identity, but
I mean, like you said, someone just made it up one day to make somebody. They were like, yeah, and they talk in your voice.
You don't see it because now the thunderstorms where it's too dangerous to be out.
Now, guys, in reality, a lot of these cryptids out there do talk and communicate, and that's a common theme you see across these things.
Interesting.
I'm just picturing them talking in human voices during this thunderstorm as they're creating more offspring, and I can't.
I don't want to picture that.
Oh.
It's okay. The thunder will be loud enough.
So they have to wait for like the thunder and then count, or, like the lightning strikes and they're like counting and they're
go.
It's
and
go
then they
time.
Have to stop.
I don't know if they're just like
have to freeze.
Super like adrenaline pump. They're like, yeah, thunder, lightning.
It's like Metallica comes up and it's just like.
But
oh my gosh.
Yeah, the more you guys know. So just be careful when there's thunderstorms is happening. Then you might see something going on. And wear armor on your legs, shin guards all around.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. I learned something about jackalopes.
I had a question of, isn't there actually a rabbit that exists with like little antlers, or is that
jackalopes?
Jackalope. No, that's what he's talking.
It's not actual antlers. One that I think you're talking about. It's like it's similar to like bone. So
okay.
That antlers are bone.
No, but like it's not like horns. So you know how horns, like sometimes they get rid of them and they can grow them back. So like it's more like I don't really know.
They're like little.
They weren't big enough to look like antlers. So people are like, that's a fake one.
Maybe Kennedy thinks jackalopes are real.
Maybe I do.
No
maybe that's what I'm saying.
They are real. They're especially common in the northern hemisphere in winter.
So then why do people say they're fake?
I don't know.
What's the point?
Jackalopes are real. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I think Trevor's pulling your leg. That should be.
I was like,
wearing armor.
Why? Pulling your armored leg.
Don't let him take you.
Your armored leg.
So just disclaimer, everything we're talking about tonight is 100% accurate and real, and
we're experts.
It's all been proven.
Yes, we just
jackalopes are the horned hares.
Triple
them.
The triple threats.
Check.
All right.
Been there, seen that.
Good to know.
Wow. Thank you for that. That's going to be the best one of the night, I think. I think we're going right back downhill. Trev.
I'll bring us back.
Yeah, bring us back in, Trev.
Bring us back to reality. Okay, so I did research on two. I'm going to stick with the first one I did research on. The name doesn't do it justice, but my man's Dogman.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now. Let me read your Dogman description. Okay, in folklore,
sounds like
the Michigan Dogman. Okay, character. So local for me, right? Michigan Dogman was a creature allegedly witnessed back in 1887, which is fairly recent for a lot of these cryptids, right? In Wexford County, Michigan. It's described as a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed bipedal canine-like animal with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream. According to legends,
fearsome.
fearsome. According to legends, the Michigan Dogman appears in a 10-year cycle and falls on the years ending in 7. So, like, for example, in 2027, we'll be needing to go to Michigan.
A Dogman year.
Some say it can be
Wait,
deterred
how
by
tall did you say he was?
7. So in my research, they actually range from 7 to 10 feet tall on average. Mm-hmm.
Why is that so incredulous?
This is so...
It's very tall.
Dogs aren't that tall.
So here's.
I'm just imagining him trying to go on all fours. He just like super long, like a wiener dog.
No, he's bipedal.
No, it's definitely not a wiener dog. You would not want to run into these things.
Why it's a cryptid. It's freaking weird when it runs.
Yeah. 7-foot wiener.
It's just an innocent dog man, but he looks like a freak, right?
like the wiener dog just on its hind legs.
And then his house is just like,
Well, I'm glad you guys can laugh at this matter because it is definitely not a laughing matter.
No, sorry.
No,
sorry.
at all.
I'm just trying to
Sorry,
envision
Dog
it.
Man. Sorry,
No.
Mr. Man
I've
Dog.
never been
don't-
to Michigan.
Don't picture that. Picture, yeah. And here's the interesting thing. So with research, a lot of people like Dogman's just a werewolf.
Right.
You are wrong. Werewolves would be documented going back to like BC, right?
Like Victorian.
Yeah. Well, like BC. So like thousands of years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
And some people say there might be some Dogman descriptions, but really the first recorded sighting is that 1887 in Michigan. So these creatures like are reported mostly with blue eyes, which is interesting, and amber eyes. So not like brown. Yes, Danny.
There's multiple of them because a lot of the cryptids that I was looking at, there's like one. Like it's the one.
No, so
Not
there's
the
the
jackalope.
sightings for these are all over the place. This is something that. So there's a lot. We're gonna get to like the origin because there was a lot of speculation on where Dogman or Dogmen come from. A lot of the sightings, so they're tall, 7 to 10 feet, blue-eyed, just like me. Okay.
Blue-eyed. I love that detail.
Yeah, so like not a lot of brown-eyed. So people can speculate that like the moonlight on the brown eyes might make it look amber because I think a lot of dogs have brown eyes. So there's a lot of talk about
sounds
that.
very like alluring. The moonlight cast across its eyes.
So 33% of sightings happen between 9 and 12. Okay, so a third. So they're very nocturnal creatures.
Oh, okay.
This is why you go to bed on time, folks.
And a majority of the other ones also happen between 12 and 3, but probably less sightings because not as many people are out. So a lot of Dogman sightings happen like people's way home from work, in the cars and vehicle like that, or even around houses though, on the edge of woods though. So one reporting was one was on the roof
at 3 a.m.
So here's a funny reporting, right? A recording or whatever. One person just picks heard some noises on his roof, so he grabbed a machete. I can't make this up, guys.
Get him, Joe.
Got his machete, and he goes out, and he's got like one of those farmhouses where the balcony goes around, in the balcony.
Yeah.
So he goes off the balcony and is looking, and then he looks up and sees the Dogman like looking down from above him and right at him, and it jumps over him and then runs off to the forest. And Dogmen only run on hind legs. That's like one of their like depicting factors.
Creepy.
So like werewolves will tend to get on all fours, bears, and that's why a lot of people see different. But people think, well, maybe they're just big feet, right? Bigfoots out there. No, because just the way they carry their load is how they say it. It's just different, whatever that means. Like I guess their weight in like a dog form. So, anyways, it ran, and so this guy with the machete actually ran after it. He chases him all the way to the edge of the forest, and then he gets to him, and Dogman's standing there, over 7 feet tall, looking at him, and just says,
"He's just waiting.
Don't." And then that's when Dogman like just stayed and stared down, and Machete Man had to back all the way up and got back in his house, but stayed there. Yes, Danny.
Another question. I don't know if you're gonna get into this, but I'm just curious about how does the anatomy look for Dogman? Like what?
So that's like
is dog. What is man?
So there's a lot of different depictions on that, but it is definitely more man than like a werewolf would be. So they are depicted with having like a wolf type head, but not quite like what you would see in like Underworld or anything like that. A most like common werewolf depiction. So like a body of a man too. So like a chest and stuff like that is from what I was seeing. But a lot of them are depicted with a lot of dark hair. So I have some notes here for some facts. So most of them are depicted with black hair on their body. So black of color, but there's a lot of different depictions of it, to be honest, from what I was seeing. So some things to also, like, if you want to think, is Dogman real? 33% of sightings are reported by police and military. So
Weird.
reputable sources. So not just like average machete man at a farmhouse, right? No, like these, we have police reports of depicting of dogmen and military reports. And on top of that, 45 states have seen dogmen and had many reportings of them, including in Canada as well.
Wow.
So there's an insane amount of dogman sightings, and it's rivals sometimes of like Bigfoot and stuff like that.
Dang.
Why have I never heard of this one?
I don't know. Kennedy, go.
I have a little tidbit to add to this. So I can't remember what family member, but some of my family members believe they saw Dogman on our property in Idaho. I've mentioned before, they have a lot of acreage, so they have several dwellings. And one night, someone heard a bunch of stuff on the roof, and then they went outside to look.
They just go on the roof.
And then
They're bipedal
they went outside to
tall.
look, checked the roof, nothing was there. But on the next building across the way, there was a shape on top that then disappeared on the backside.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Really
dogman.
creepy.
Absolutely. From what I know of researching dogman, that sounds like a dogman for sure.
Do they howl?
This sounds like a
Yes, and
scream,
it sounds
remember?
like a human scream. Yes. So again, they seem to be intelligent as opposed to some other thing. So they seem very intelligent to the point there's a lot of sightings of like when you are in a car and you park and like it's blocking your way, they try your car door handles and try to get in. And there's been a lot of reports of trying door handles to homes trying to get in.
Why didn't if they want to hurt people, why didn't he hurt Machete Man?
I don't know.
He let him go.
What are they doing?
There's a lot of
what's their plan?
So
why are they up on the roof to lure people
out? So there
out?
are violent sightings. There's also a lot of sightings of like people that have Bigfoot on their property as well. So they'll see Bigfoot for a while and then Bigfoot will leave. And then the following days, dogmen will rise. And there's were sightings of dogmen fighting Bigfoot as well. And hearing that.
Maybe
But,
Bigfoot's on our side.
They're very territorial.
Imagine
so
how unlucky you are to have not only Bigfoot.
You're like,
and
listen,
then
this is
dogmen.
my property.
Stupid out in the backyard.
You're like, I
Get off my
paid millions
property.
of dollars for this property,
Yeah.
and they're just fighting over it in the backyard.
Off the
wazoo.
Wonder why I was just smoking teal.
I shouldn't have to pay property taxes
I thought it was
on this
okay
crap.
with just the jackalopes, but then came Bigfoot and dogmen. What?
That's
So-
so
Oh my God.
funny.
Some other things to know about dogmen, they're new, right? So 1887 is very new compared to a lot of them. So origin stories, there's origin stories around like, is it like witchcraft, right? Is it someone trying to do something to change themselves into dogmen? But what's more considered to be the origin stories is that they are failed government experiments to make super soldiers and guard, because a lot of them are sighted around military bases as well. And with the
Interesting.
police and military sightings, it's kind of what I was leaning to after all the research as
Why
well.
dogs? Like, what's
Because they're
Agility?
trying to make I guess, well, I mean, they're really tall, really fast,
Accessible
really strong,
animal.
and intelligent from what
Yeah.
they see. So dogs, I think, are just quick and obedient creatures. And so if they think they can train
good
them,
point.
that might be why. A lot of times there's misconceptions about them that they are solo hunters. No, they're actually pack creatures. Most of the time you only see one. Sometimes they'll actually hunt with actual like wolves and dogs and be a part of that pack.
That's
but
just
they
not even
only
fair.
stand on their hind legs.
My God.
So
Don't even stand a chance. For
that's
sure.
really all my research shows. The creepiest part was for sure that they tried
Great.
door handles and
Yeah,
car
don't
handles.
like
The
that.
handles. I also forgot, I want to know, kind of in that same timeline with my family story, I think it was my mom heard this growling in the bushes, and she was like, it was unlike any dog I have ever heard in my life, and I
Dogman.
knew to get away.
Yeah.
Human language, but it was just growling instead. Like,
Yep.
so creepy.
Yes, Danny.
Yes, what?
I will say this. So doing research, I also looked into a lot of like, not anti-cryptid, but like more just like scientific stuff. And a lot of, and it doesn't mean that dogmen aren't true, but like a lot of reports of animals speaking. So jackalopes, dogmen, if they have the head of a creature, they technically can't talk like humans do because you need a specific tongue shape, specific tongue length.
Absolutely.
So
good point.
There are a couple of reports, like just based off that alone, they aren't true.
That's so funny. What if
But
they do
Dogman
have the
is depicted
tongue?
to have
Yeah.
human features
Yeah.
in the face.
Well, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. So
what
like
is
they
dog and what is
so I would imagine the tongue is probably human to be able to, and the eyes
so
are human.
weird.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So
Very odd.
Sorry,
What-
one more question.
Yes.
Is it all dogs or is it only some dogs? Like, is there a golden retriever and you're like, oh,
Pomeranian dog man.
Yeah.
or is there like a
Consider- I
chihuahua where you're
don't-
like,
if we
Why
go off
would the
that would be
military
freaky.
want a Pomeranian
exactly, that's my point. If we go off the military failed experiment theory,
pit bull?
I don't imagine
Well,
they're
pit bulls
coming
aren't
out
very
here with
Shepherds.
like chihuahuas and
I would think maybe like German shepherds, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean
I was
specific
just curious if the
breeds.
sightings had like a specific
Most of them
breed.
depicted dark hair.
Yeah.
Like I said,
okay.
most of the sightings are dark to black hair.
Hmm.
Like, are we talking Beethoven or
No.
Nope.
Good stuff.
Kennedy,
Okay.
what
Kennedy,
did
hit us
you?
with it?
My first one, it's a lovely one. It's called The Woman in White. So this story is often linked to Hispanic cultures, but it's popular here in North America as well as South America. But according to this myth, a beautiful woman by the name of Maria drowned her kiddos in order to be with the man she loved. And when he would not have her, she then drowned herself. And
Thanks,
so
Kennedy, for sharing.
yeah. So she was not allowed into heaven, and she now walks the earth to find where her lost children are for eternity. And she's constantly weeping. But in some versions, she has a special name, and I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not going to attempt it. But it pays tribute to her constant weeping. But in some versions, she will kidnap wandering children who will resemble her own children or who disobey their parents. So I wonder if that's some parents that are like, listen, or so-and-so's going to come.
Yeah, totally.
But people claim to see her only at night or near rivers or lakes in Mexico. And some say those who hear her weeping are marked for death. So
Yeah, there's mass mainstream media on this one. This is actually one that had a movie not too long ago come out.
really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it
Yeah.
called?
I would have to Google it. I've never seen it, but
No
I
worries.
do remember it.
But she cries, "Oh, my children," in Spanish, whatever that is. But I found a couple stories. They're fairly quick, so I will give them a little read.
Okay.
Perfect. Facts. All facts, no printer.
Yeah, so thank you to whoever these came from through my research. But so the first one night a young child was leaving the living room about to enter their parents' room when they froze in place because in front of the doorway stood a woman in a white dress holding a book in one hand and beckoning with the other as if signaling for the child to come closer. Her mouth moved as if she were speaking, but no sound came from it. And then obviously terrified, the child immediately started crying and ran away. And then the parents came and were trying to calm them down, and they had not seen anything. So that's one. So that's nice, right in your own home.
Thanks, Kennedy.
Right in home.
Right in the comfort of your own
At least,
home.
Right in the comfort.
Dogman stayed outside. I didn't tell you that. Oh yeah,
No,
Dogman knows how to
he's-
lockpick.
He tries
Trying
to
the
get in, but he
knobs.
can't.
You forget.
Yeah.
The other one night a man stayed late at work and didn't start walking home until close to midnight. And as he crossed a bridge, he saw a woman in a white dress on the other side, walking in the same direction as him. And though something felt off about the situation, he didn't want to seem scared, so he just continued walking and just avoiding eye contact. And then when they met in the middle of the bridge, he glanced at her face, and where her face should have been, there was nothing but black. And then keeping his composure, he hurried to the end of the bridge and then ran all the way home.
Wow, this guy is strong. He's just like,
I hear that story often, actually.
Yeah.
That's a very common story.
Yeah, which I
Did he
this
resemble
one.
the husband?
Obviously
I
not,
don't
otherwise
know.
he wouldn't
We'd have to
lived.
ask her.
excuse me,
Can you come on our podcast?
did that one guy, yes, our very first guest.
Guest host.
But I felt like I should do this one because actually last week I saw a reel about this,
Oh,
and
gosh.
it was I think it was in Mexico, it's this family playing in the river. Then they all started freaking out. And then obviously it's the super shaky footage, but they're like zooming in the trees and there's a figure with white clothing in there and they're all terrified and running out.
I saw that reel.
In my research, I was like, oh, I might as well.
Cool.
Great.
Awesome.
Good.
Next.
Great.
How many reports of missing children are caught to this case, Kennedy?
I didn't look that up.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, I have no idea why I chose this topic. I was like, oh, this will be
either.
fun. But I am a terrified little chicken. So what I tell you is all I know.
Okay.
Great.
So when there's a bump in the night, I go out and I'm
and it's
the
just because
husband.
our house is creaking or the cat fell down.
The cat falls
Mr.
down.
Machete Man.
I'm putting a machete by my bed
Those
today.
cats
I want a
better
machete
watch
man.
out.
Hit those cats.
Sure, just goes the machete at the cats. They're like, ah. Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, we could circle back if Sierra, you have another one or whoever wants to share another one. Take it away.
Yeah, I don't really want to ask questions on that one, Kennedy.
No, we're good.
Don't need more information about
Yeah,
that
we're
one.
good on that one. Is there an easy way to avoid her?
I think it's just literally go the other way. Don't interact.
Head down.
Okay.
Like that
What if
one
like
guy.
you're on the
Like the
toilet
man.
and she's like at the door to the toilet? Like you got no other way to go, my man.
Go through the toilet.
You're just like she's like trying to make eye contact with you. You're just like keep
You're
turning.
Nothing
She doesn't
ever
have eyes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't even make
Yeah.
eye contact.
Well,
Yeah, nothing ever said anything about eye contact. So I think it was
Face
the one was like if you
contact.
hear her crying, but I think everyone's hearing her crying, and I don't think
Just cover your
everyone's.
ears.
Yeah.
right.
Are you looking out your window?
Well, the blind's like a little up.
You're fine.
And
It would
there's
be
like
Dogman
cats
out there.
the cats have broke the blinds, so like you can kind of see into a corner.
Great.
Can't hide.
There's no
No.
sleep tonight.
No, seriously.
We're gonna be like putting like SpongeBob on after this or something. Can't wait.
Seriously.
Danny's like, we can't stay up past 1. I'm like, Danny, we're all staying up past
Yeah.
1.
We're not sleeping at all. Oh man. Yeah, so then the other one I researched, I like don't even want to talk about it because it's
You don't
so
have
scary.
to. We can skip it if you
have to
want.
say it.
I really don't want to.
Just give us like 30
I-
seconds worth.
What's
we
it
won't
called?
talk about it.
I did look up the black-eyed children.
Which
And I
you
just
did.
don't. I
Never mind,
can't.
take it back.
I don't want to talk about it. I literally don't. Everyone can look it up if they want to. But I just, even during the day when I was looking this up, I had to clap because I'm like so
Oh
passionate
my
about it.
gosh.
Yeah.
I was like getting freaked out in
Are
broad
they actually
daylight.
children or are they something else?
No, there's something else.
And they pretend to be your own children?
No, just random.
Just
like,
out there. Lots of sightings.
I didn't really look that up. I didn't
Okay.
want to know.
I
I
think,
think
so.
they're fairly common.
Yeah.
I don't
Trevor?
like
Okay,
this. Can
Danny,
we
go
move
ahead.
on?
Or
Someone
Danny,
talk about
yes.
Bigfoot. That's not scary to me.
I do have Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's
Perfect.
incredibly scary.
yeah.
Whoever wants to take
Do
the
we
wheel.
have capybara or whatever it's called?
Excuse me, capybaras
I-
are not scary.
Oh, but your jackalope, terrifying.
Yeah.
My next one is not a capybara.
Bummer.
Which are really cute in reality.
They are, they're like little
Capybaras
chubby-
are bros.
Yeah, they're cute.
They're in zoos.
Chupacabra. Hey.
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is also
Love a
terrifying.
chimichanga.
Chippoopy.
It is not. That's the bet. Well,
Hey,
it might be a
depends
scary bathroom
The
visit.
next day.
Next day is terrifying. Chupacabra. 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 What's up,
Shut
brah?
up, brah. Chubby, macabre.
Chupacabra.
Should be my bra. Cabra, what up?
So Chupacabra is actually even more recent than Trevor's dog people.
Yeah.
Dogman.
It was cited in 1995, so like
Whoa.
really recent. Hmm
Almost
Thank
as
you
old
for
as
calling
me.
me
Sierra.
young.
Yeah.
It is it's also known as the goat sucker.
Yeah.
That's what it actually
Oh,
stands
that's
for.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What it does to its victims is
Those ghosts.
it sucks all the blood out,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it always goes after livestock, mostly from all the reports that I've seen. It was first sighted in Puerto Rico. It was about the size of like a small bear, The reports were a little reptilian-like, on 2 feet. It had spikes on its back, and it just ate up. It ate up like 50.
I'm imagining a Ninja Turtle for some reason.
With
rolling
fangs.
in
Wait, Danny,
and spikes.
is the window open? Okay, thank goodness the blinds are moving and it was freaking me out.
Oh no!
I literally panicked
was
for
like,
a second. I was
What
like,
is that? That's my
They are
earthquake symbol whenever they're moving.
your
I'm like,
neighbors are
"Earthquake?"
like, what the fudge are they talking about?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get some
seriously.
sleep.
Giving everyone nightmares.
Nightmare fuel.
Anyways, okay, so sorry. I just really had to make sure.
Dude, you're
No worries. That's better to
okay.
be safe than sorry. Yeah.
Dogman comes in. She doesn't say anything. Not for the
You
podcast.
guys needed a guest? Here I am.
Brings his
Hey,
squad.
they
We
have
got
human
Bigfoot, we
voices.
got Mothman.
Come on in,
Go-
everyone.
They sit on your couch.
Pile in.
Wait,
The lady in white's just like,
Yeah.
the traffic was terrible.
Oh, little jackrabbit just sitting on the little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
back
Good.
to
It's good to laugh.
back to normal.
We're back to Chupacabras
So
now.
the Chupacabra, ever since 1995, has blown up. So
yeah.
sightings have exploded all.
His numbers are
Chupacabras
just
blew up.
Like
He's
bombs
going
out there.
absolutely viral.
They
over
hated
there.
him so
Every
much.
sighting,
They blew him
every
up.
time you see a chupacabra and it knows you saw it, it just explodes. It's just
That's
boom!
why they're terrifying.
Kind of like a mosquito that sucked too much
I
blood.
was picturing
Oh
him
my
like
gosh.
blowing up on social media. He's like sponsored by NordVPN.
They're everywhere.
Raid Shadow Legends, is that an old reference? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, so they're rising in popularity.
Yes. So ever since the like first sighting in Puerto Rico, where they got like a ton of different farm animals, I think it
Yeah.
spread to Mexico and like Brazil, Argentina, so a lot of South America.
Okay.
And then a couple years afterwards, it hit like America and has been sighted in
Hard.
all 50 states.
Lovely.
Yep.
Exploded right into the States.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
Is it one or like is
Oh,
he
it's like
traveling?
many.
Or
no,
is
it's
it
very
like
many. My mom
it's a
actually ran a
species?
chupacabra over when we were in Texas one time.
Lovely.
We were going down. We were getting from point A to point B in Texas.
Yes.
It was nighttime, and it
Roadkill.
was me and my uncle Ron, and then our younger brother was like a baby at the time, and I remember it distinctly because I was in the back seat with Uncle Ron and the baby, and Mom and I think Dad were in the front seat, and we were going down a highway.
I hope
67
they're in
miles
the
an hour,
front seat.
in the rental car, and then all of a sudden we just see this flash of like thing go across the road and boom, 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 over, and then we just kept going. We ran over to Chupacabra and didn't stop.
So someone
And
just
Uncle
said
Ron
it
made
was
a comment, and I will remember this to the day I die. It was like, "Whoa, whatever that was, it made your baby poop." Scared the poop right out of him.
Who thought it was a chupacabra?
Yeah, who-
Someone had to have
no thoughts. It was confirmed.
It's just a
chupacabra.
known fact. Okay.
Uncle Ron
Got
lives
it.
down
Obviously,
there, so
it's not a possum.
it's a
or
chupacabra. He sees them all the
raccoon.
time.
All the
Yeah,
time.
totally.
They're normal sightings.
He no longer has any goats because of the chupacabra.
Why does he keep getting more goats?
Well, he doesn't. Not now.
Okay, good.
Okay,
He got
wait, this is-
chupacabras.
They just welcome them in. You ate my goats. You could stay.
They're just
Yep.
best friends now.
Wait, did he really have goats, or is that a joke?
No, he never had goats. That
Okay, I didn't
know
think
of.
so.
Okay, another question for Danny
Yes.
is why do you think they like only go for livestock most of the time?
They don't.
Well,
Most of the time, though.
most
Trevor,
of the time, the
not yours.
reportings are seen going after livestock. But I'll get into that a little more. But chupacabras have also, so it's confusing because the reportings are a little bit like all over the place. Some of them say they look more like reptiles. Some of them look more like aliens. So some of them say they're on 4. Some of them say they're on 2s. The main like collective acknowledged like backstory or lore is that like they have like fangs, obviously, because that's how they puncture to like suck out the blood.
To roll up with the straw.
They're like fake teeth.
They're pretty smart, so they're pretty intelligent. So the original, I think it was like within the first year, they like locked up all their livestock, but like locks would be broken, like doors would be smashed down, like nothing stopped
gosh.
these like vampiric chupacabras from getting to their goat blood. And in case you're wondering, they did expand. It wasn't only goats; it has been sheep, all types of other livestock as well. There have been some reports with people as well,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's not as many sightings or reports of people attacks. But again, doing a little more research, the biggest explanation that people say for it is they think it's coyotes, which is interesting because they're supposed to be the size of small bears, so coyotes are usually smaller. But they say that it's like an infection. I think it was
rabid, like rabies.
mange is what they think it was, to where they lose all their fur and their skin becomes all wrinkled and tattered, and they go similar to rabid, but they become weaker. So they don't. So the reason they go after livestock is because it's usually encased and it's a little bit easier to chase anything. So that's the theory of why they go after livestock. But
But a coyote's not gonna suck all the blood out of something.
Yeah, the sucking of the blood.
And also, are they not just vampires then at this point?
Well, no. They don't talk.
Kind of.
Vampires need human blood specifically, so it's a little different.
No, maybe they are vampires, but they're like the Cullens in Twilight, and they're just being vegetarian.
Yeah, they just want to be like
what
us.
Vampires are. That's a movie.
They're vegetarian.
This is real life,
vampires.
Sierra.
This is real life.
No, that's always an interesting one because I can't remember. I feel like it wasn't too long ago. I was seeing a ton of videos of cows just being sucked dry, just dead in the field. Just creepy.
It is creepy.
I think Chupacabras are real. I don't know what else to say. I 100% think Chupacabras are probably real.
I don't know. I guess that goes to say with all of them. I don't think anyone's
There's so
killed
much
one, ran
Chupacabra
over
info
one
out there. It's wild.
Right, but do we have an official photo?
We got bodies all over the road. There's one back in Texas.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, what's the scariest part about Chupacabras? Do they talk? Was there reportings of them talking?
No.
The scariest thing is
the sucking the blood is.
Yeah,
they
reports
go to
of
them
humans
being able to burrow.
Not too much.
They're just strong. They can break through. They
can break locks. They can break.
That's creepy.
They can enter.
Because one of the reasons why Dogman apparently only come out every 10 years, which is, by the way, guys, but here's the thing, that's mostly sounds like a hoax because there's sightings so many, just all over the place, is they think Dogmen live in cave systems sometimes. Yeah. Because they're intelligent, so they have a whole underworld.
So they only go out every 7 years?
Yeah. That's some of the rumors is there's more sightings on every 10 years on the sevens. So 97,
got it,
2007, and now coming up in 2027. But I was curious because I see stuff they're hiding out underground. So I think the Chupacabras could be mole people.
Who knows? Apparently there's massive just runs of tunnels all underground.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do believe that Chupacabras did also come from some type of military experiment or some type of scientific experiment, or aliens, one of the two. Because,
right,
I think aliens.
Sure.
I just don't understand the alien one. Did the alien just kick them out? All right, you guys just stay over here on Earth, and we'll continue on.
So here's my theory, and I just thought of this, so it's got to be right. So the alien theory is that because they used to abduct cows to do experiments on cows and stuff like that in crop circles and stuff. So these were the aliens that got addicted to cow blood and then goat blood and human blood, and they've kind of morphed from that. But now they've been abandoned by the intelligence because they've lost their intelligence because of the cow blood they've been sucking on because of mad cow disease.
Right.
And so they've been banished to
They're
Earth.
Addicts.
And they're just
sad.
crack addicts for blood. And so that's got to be it.
They just can't stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I solved it.
Nice.
That's very smart of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
They're just struggling. They need to go to AA or whatever.
Yeah.
AA.
Well,
we need to help them.
Positive. Yeah.
Be positive. No. Wow.
Interesting. So, Danny, do you believe in Chupacabras now after the research?
Oh, it's tough because we barely get coyote attacks here. So again, it's living in where we live. It's we don't see many of these attacks firsthand at all. So it's it's hard. It's really hard.
Well,
but
have I got a story? So... Have I got a story for you?
Yeah, you ran over a small bear apparently.
Just a little doop doop. It was a baby Chupacabra.
It scared.
Its mom was standing there ah!
Oh no.
All right, who's next?
I got you guys. So okay, So I was not expecting when Kennedy picked this episode, which, by the way, Kennedy picking our first scary episode just warms my heart as a husband. Thank you. I did not anticipate realizing I actually have an experience with a cryptid.
Okay.
And I do 100% think I have now at this point.
You mean in addition to Chupacabra?
Well, yeah, obviously the Chupacabra, right? That's hard to confirm. It could have been an armadillo.
No, it wasn't.
More than likely.
It could have been an armadillo
the size of a small bear.
Well, the car kept going. It wasn't like the car got. It wasn't like a smoking engine. Like it was probably an armadillo or a baby Chupacabra. I trust my Uncle Ron's opinion, and
he said it was a Chupacabra.
It said it was a Chupacabra. He's lived in Texas. He understands these things.
So he was just passively Chupacabra.
Yeah,
just Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. Keep going. Don't stop for those.
They aren't endangered at all.
So, anyways, I had it was very real for me doing this, and many of the sightings depicted the same thing I saw.
Ugh.
So, and some of them didn't. There were some differences, and I was just I looked up cryptids, I looked up SCPs because I was getting them all mixed up, and I was like, whoa, those dark paths. But for whatever reason, this one called Not Deer stuck out to me because of an experience I had. So, Not Deer, right? Most sightings apparently are in Tennessee, which I don't even know if I've been to Tennessee, right? But this is what they are depicting in a lot of the stories. So I listened and I did a little different research on this one since I felt like I'd seen it based off some of it. So with Dogman, I did facts and this I wanted to hear other sightings. And so I listened to stories, and some of them resembled what I experienced. Some of them did not. Some of them depicted them as almost skin changers, right?
The skinwalkers?
Skinwalkers. And so some of them depicted them as rotting flesh coming off a deer and then revealing a humanoid type creatures underneath, and very communicative, talking in that sense. And
got it.
That's not what I think I saw. Some of them depicted really large deer, abnormally large, and being able to see far distances and almost not necessarily, I don't think, mind read, but kind of and I don't think that's a common theme, which is probably just universal for any sightings of cryptids, is very unsettling feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I had that.
Classic.
And then I've heard multiple depictions of them moving awkwardly but still quick.
The awkward is so unsettling.
So like a baby deer,
right? But
still going quickly in that sense, and that's kind of what I also saw with my thing. You're making fun of
the size of a baby.
No, an adult deer.
This poor baby's trying to walk, and it's all of a sudden a cryptid.
Trevor's just judging him so hard.
So this is where I can't relate to this part, but a lot of them say the eyes are on the front of the face, so facing forward like a predator. I believe that because I didn't remember seeing an eye on the side of the head, and I had a side profile of my experience. So let me just I'm going to tell you my story, and then I'm going to share with you some supporting stories and why it kind of was putting two and two together. So I was at Kennedy's house, where Dogman lives too, by the way. Because where the Dogman sighting
Kennedy,
was.
I'm never going to your parents' property.
No, never.
Ever in my life.
There's more that happened there too. Keep going.
Oh my gosh.
We were watching a movie, and I can't remember what movie it was. But I had to leave during the movie. And I think Kennedy continued watching with her family. This was, I think, either we might have been 18 or 19 at the time. Maybe actually 17. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I don't think we were 20 yet. We were definitely not engaged. It was it was 10 years ago. And I remember it to this day very vividly. It's something that stuck with me because I didn't know what it was. I always chalked it up to just being a deformed or sick deer, like a lot of these stories depict. I was like, well, it was probably just a weird, sick, a deer with rabies or something. I don't know. I didn't know. It didn't make any sense. So I normally call Kennedy on my way home, but since she was watching a movie, I don't think we were actually on the phone this time. I ended up calling her after this happened.
This is all at night.
It's all at night. So around, I would say between 9 and 10. I think I had to work, so it wasn't super late because they were still up and watching a movie. And I think I had to work or had school or something the next day. I had to go home. I think I might have actually been 17 and had a curfew, right? Okay.
Probably.
Thanks, parents. Oh. Yeah. Wow. So it wasn't. So she had a longer driveway. And so I got out of the driveway. And then, yes, Kennedy.
just so they understand, my parents live in the country off this back road, so the road that they live off of is just all in the woods.
All trees.
Just all
woods
trees.
on both sides, dark.
Yeah, dark.
You only really see the road. You can't really see into the sides.
And on the way out, you pass just one other driveway. So all the rest is just woods as you're heading out.
Road.
Creepy.
Yeah.
So I get out of the driveway. I get on the dirt road. That's a lot of potholes. You can't really go too fast on there. I pass the neighbor's house where the other driveway is, and I go, and there's a little bit, you come to like a little straight stretch, and there's kind of a hill on the left side and a tree kind of on the hill that kind of pokes out. And then all of a sudden, this black shape runs across the road. And what stood out to me in this black shape is its head. So it looked like the shape of a deer, like a normal sized deer. But instead of most deer's heads kind of crane upwards, right, with the neck up, its head was craned downwards, and its head was almost flat against the ground. And it just ran straight across the road and off into the woods.
Okay.
And that was that.
Now, was it going uphill or downhill?
It went from left to right, so downhill. So like almost into like, I think it's almost marsh over there.
Yeah, that is true. It's a steep slope, and then it goes into thick
like
marsh.
Marsh. So like
Sounds
not something
derpy.
a deer would be. Exactly. And that's what that's what I chalk it up to. But there was still a ton of unease.
Totally.
It moved a little too quick.
Yeah.
And like that head thing was just all wrong.
I mean, we see deer are pests here, so we know what they look and move like.
I was going to say, like, if I had seen that, I would have been like,
black,
a deer.
which was also weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so with your headlights on it, it's solid
Yeah,
still black.
That's creepy.
Like, I wouldn't say absorbed the light, but it was definitely dark fur.
Mm.
So a lot
Yeah,
of
not
these
a deer.
stories I'm hearing and I've heard
It's a
depict
not
kind of
deer.
the same thing,
Got
right?
'em.
Yeah. So, I mean, there were stories about how in packs, this wasn't a pack, it was single deer, and how they would stalk people. I don't remember the deer following me at all. I remember calling Kennedy right away and explaining what I tried to see, because it was just so, I felt so
like
off.
weird. Yeah.
And now I do think it was probably a not deer of some fashion. I don't know if it was like the shape-shifting one or not, but it was definitely something, and I think it could be chalked up to a not deer sighting.
Penny, do you remember this phone call?
Yes.
Wow.
And trying to make sense of it. And then, like I said, knowing what deer are like, I was like, a deer can't like go with its neck broken and dragging. So
Right.
No.
But I remember, you talking about how it just stayed black with the headlights on it, because you probably would have had your brights on too.
I thought like maybe it was a deer, but they were long, skinny legs.
Yeah.
Or like seeing a bear, but they were long, skinny legs, and I'm like, well, maybe it was like a black bear, but no, because they were like, a deer's leg is
And
kind
it
of
went
pencil.
fast,
and
like
it went
a bear.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hit us with some of these. You have stories to go with it, or
So
other
there's one
sightings?
story. There's a few different stories I heard today, and like I said, they depict different things, and not quite what I saw per se, but like the herd stories I heard, there was like the molting person, like one that was just like, okay. There was the large deer one. It's like I don't think that was it, but there's like stories about like joggers going through the woods and coming across the deer and it just staring them down, and then the eyes are on the face, right? In the front. And then like,
I don't know why that specifically freaks me out so much.
and so other depictions, right, is like the jogger was on a like a cement path, like an asphalt, the black asphalt paths in the woods that are out there, and it's at night, and so the jogger just felt unease like I did, right? Not necessarily like immediate danger, but just super uneasy. And so he was like, well, I'm just gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna jog the way I came. And so it would try to jog away, but then it heard the hoofs behind him.
No.
And it turned around, and again it was unnaturally fast. Like the sound didn't match the hoofs. And so he ended up getting away, but that was, again, that's the
so
thing.
It chased him down.
It chased him.
Yeah.
So that's why the eyes are in the front. It's like a predator. Like if you think of natural prey and like herbivores, they're all eyes on the side.
I forgot about that.
And I don't remember seeing an eye.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like it was dark, right? It was like a black color, so like maybe it blended in, but like I did not remember seeing an eye on the deer. And so that's another big thing. They are depicted also speaking as well. And mimicking sounds also of people that they know. And there's a lot of reports of people in parks being followed by more than one of these. Yes, Kennedy.
Are these all at night, or are they also
Almost
daytime?
all the sightings are at night.
Perfect. Avoid everything by just going to
They
sleep early.
are seen in the day. They're not exclusive to night.
We like to mix it up.
They seem incredibly violent as well, depicting like sharp teeth when they smile and grinning at people as well.
Oh, why?
Grinning.
Yeah. That's another thing. Even like across all of them, just that grinning, happy to see you type of vibe is also there.
Yeah.
Yes, Kennedy.
If yours had looked at you, would you have ran it over? Or reversed?
No, I would have.
100%.
I probably would have. I don't know.
His car was a Kia Optima.
It could have been destroyed. It was worth
sedan.
destroying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think my sighting was a smaller not deer. If they do grow in size, I don't remember.
Baby not deer too.
It was a Bambi not deer.
Gosh.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
creepy.
Never knew
Very
about
freaky.
those.
And it is very freaky because, like, I don't want to believe in a lot of supernatural stuff. Like, I don't want to believe in cryptids. But now that I did this research and I feel like I've seen one, it's very weird for me.
Yeah.
What do you think they are? Like, do you think it's just an evil spirit in a deer's body?
I
totally, yeah.
I totally think it's an evil spirit or demon or one of the above, right? I don't think it's anything else. Yeah, it almost makes it worse if that's my opinion. Like, I would rather it be like a creature that I didn't recognize. But
sure.
Yeah.
I also, to me, though, that doesn't scare me as much because, like
you have the Holy
just
Spirit
as Christians,
and
like they can't touch us. Like, they can like terrorize us, but which isn't fun. But you know that you're not like in any danger at all. Like, so
Yep. And that may be that's why it ignored me and just kept going.
That's how I can sleep at night. So
that's how we're
literally
sleeping.
And
Thank you,
let's
Jesus,
say maybe
for
I
your
wasn't
protection.
exactly. Maybe if I didn't have Jesus, like he would have stopped in
Hey,
the middle
you
of the road
never
and
know.
looked at me, or maybe
you never know.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
So
say your prayers.
Thanks,
everyone.
God, for protecting us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions before I wrap this up?
Mm-mm.
All right.
I don't want to know anything else.
I'm bringing in the big old favorite. We got a Bigfoot.
Yay,
and I'm bringing
I'm
him in
excited to hear about
because
this.
there's a lot of fun theories about him. And then I remember a couple stories I've been told or heard. So
Okay.
I'm going to kind of start reading through my notes. I had to take notes because of theories, man.
There's just so many.
There are so many. Okay. So we
just
got
quick
Bigfoot.
Before you start,
Yeah.
same thing I asked Trevor. Is it singular Bigfoot or is it multiple big feet?
Multiple
They
big
have two.
feet.
It's a species.
Okay, that's what I was curious about. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So some people believe Bigfoot is an interdimensional being. And this is a super popular one.
Oh, yeah.
So
Does that just mean alien?
No, hold on.
Let her speak.
Let me get into it.
Let her cook.
I have notes, okay? So this would help explain why it's difficult to capture solid evidence on its existence. So a lot of sightings detail the creature suddenly appearing and then suddenly vanishing and just without a trace. Some people just say it disappeared into thin air or materialized out of nowhere. So a lot of people believe that they just travel through dimensions or portals. They just pop in and out. So that's a popular one. I believe my mom is in favor of that one. So I've heard a little bit about that. We've got a classic. Bigfoot is an alien.
Yeah, boy.
But I haven't heard about this one. But a lot of people coincide UFO sightings or other unexplained aerial phenomena when they encounter a Bigfoot. So they'll see Bigfoot.
Wow.
And then days later, they'll have a weird UFO encounter. So some believe that Bigfoot is out here as a scout or explorer gathering info about our planet. Some believe, especially in the Native American culture, he is a spirit or a guardian of nature, so a protector. So a lot of sightings on sacred lands or just areas that are struggling or under threat.
That's sweet.
And then we've got the classic, he's a government experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like we say,
obviously
government
something
official.
went wrong, so they abandoned the project and now they're working to cover
I
up its
love that all the
existence.
government is just like, oh man,
We
like,
got so
another
much crap
one.
on the loose.
I was
Dang
watching one.
it.
Why we're on this government thing? I was watching one video on I think it was Dogman actually. Like the guy was saying, he's like, I don't think the president's waking up every day, coming to the offer and like, give me the update on Dogman.
Right.
But I'm also not saying there's not a secret file out there being funded by the government.
Sure.
Yes, sir. That's our machete man.
Could you imagine being the president and like every morning there's just a cryptid file on your desk?
You're like,
oh,
another
my
one.
God.
there's thousands of sightings.
It's
I'm not
just
going to be able to
spam.
get through all
Where
these.
did this one go now?
Spam. Yeah, it's like the presidential version of like your spam folder.
It's a full-time
I'll
job.
look at it later.
Yeah.
The last theory is Bigfoot is a hominid, which is a species, like a human-like species, an ape.
Okay.
But what, I don't know how to say this other word, relict maybe? But essentially there's fossil records dating back 100,000 years ago of a giant ape that roamed Asia. So people who swing that way believe that. But I remember, because there's Bigfoot all over TV. And so I remember it was on once and people are talking about their encounters. And I remember this one woman, she's just like, yeah, he was just in my backyard. He came up to the screen door, knocked, and he asked for some mustard.
Bigfoot said mustard,
and then he was given mustard and Bigfoot left.
Wow.
he just needed some for his sandwich.
I've heard that story. It's
Maybe it was just her
Have you
neighbor.
heard that mustard story?
I've heard the mustard story with Bigfoot knocked
I have.
on.
That is like, I've kept that with me forever.
That's so funny.
Good to know how to get rid of
Yeah, he just only wants us some
He just
mustard.
wanted to borrow some
what's the
mustard.
mustard.
I have another family story. So some people, kind of like Dogman, they like to enter your homes. And so this was at my parents, like their house on the property. And
It's a bad property,
Not
fam.
okay.
Hearse.
so my mom's got a lot of dogs, great alarm system. So
Unless they're dog
2 to 3 in the morning, I want to say, so definitely early morning, dogs start going crazy. Gets up and she's like, all right, we're gonna let him out. And at that time they had one or two pit bulls, so off they go and they're like just tearing through. And this all happened within the span of a few minutes of her hearing the dogs bark and then waking up and letting him out. And so pit bulls are gone for a long time, and apparently they never catch up to anything because they eventually come back. And in one of the other houses, the family member that was living in there said they were hearing heavy footsteps outside the house leading up to it, like leading up to this event. And so if you support the theory that they enter residences because they're curious, apparently it's the young Bigfoot that are curious. So
Aw.
little Bigfoot walking up, going into the house, and then there's just a bunch of dogs. And so it takes off because my mom's like, I think the pit bulls would have caught up if it was a human, a person.
Yeah.
And where they live, it's not easy to run away. I mean, there's a creek.
There's a lot of obstacles. Yeah.
Lots of
Mhm.
hills, tons of forest. So I don't think a human could get away too fast.
Wow. That's kind of cute. He was like, oh, I wonder what life is like inside this lovely
And a
What
home
is
here.
bowl
this
of
little
cereal,
thing?
a bowl of
And
porridge.
then you just release the dogs on him. He's like,
Sick 'em,
gotta
boys.
go.
Poor thing.
Yeah. Very interesting. I've never heard, honestly, any of those theories.
Oh.
So I am a believer of the portals.
Are
Mhm.
you?
If Bigfoot is out there, let's just say this. There's so much technology. Maybe they're all hiding it. The government keeps their secrets, those silly girls.
They still
Girls.
keep losing all
But-
the cryptids.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of North America that the Bigfoot could be hiding in, but I do think we would have some hard evidence somewhere if they didn't have portals.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're demons,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think they have portals or cave systems and such that they can go to hell or wherever or whatever to get away from things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think they're demons. Demons aren't asking for mustard.
So that was just a big hairy dude, I guarantee you. And Aunt Betty was probably a little tipsy from all the hard alcohol,
Yeah.
She had a
moonshine.
couple
She was probably
mimosas
drinking.
that day.
All right.
Listen.
All right.
But I think
I
it's
think I
hard
agree
for me
with
to get
you.
behind the aliens thing. And I'm not saying aliens aren't real. Listen, I think aliens could totally be real. Why couldn't God make aliens and do things? He could do whatever he wants.
He just wouldn't
right?
tell us,
Yeah.
maybe.
He just might not have told us.
It's like, you don't need to know.
He could have other experiments out there, right? I mean, if you
Right.
think about it, we are kind of like an experiment. I think we're a very fortunate experience if we get biblical on us. But anyways, there's nothing out there in the Bible that says that aliens don't exist, right? Am I wrong? Do Danny, Sierra, Kennedy, is there something out there that say is no aliens?
I mean, we weren't an experiment. We were made perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. After his own design.
On
Who's
purpose.
to say he doesn't make other things after his own
Right,
design
right.
on another planet or something else, another universe, something we can't even comprehend?
I totally think that, but at the same time, I don't care at all because
Yeah.
like, if it was necessary for us to know, he would have told us.
He would tell us, exactly.
And if it
But
affected our lives, he would have told us. So you
So
do you,
ultimately,
God. You know.
Bigfoot could be a God's other thing somewhere else. Who knows? But I think it's portals.
Yeah,
I do.
that's fair.
I think they hop in, hop out. They get behind a tree, they're like this, and then gone.
We just got to steal a portal someday.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in there. Who knows where you
Yeah,
go?
I don't want to accidentally go in one.
Could you
Like, get
imagine?
your portals out of here.
Hey, stop it.
You can
Stop
use them. Just
portaling around me. Go. I just don't think Bigfoot's real, to be honest with you. Ultimately, I'm not a believer in Bigfoot. Dogman, yes. I think it was Dogman.
Wait,
again
I'm
at
getting
your
so
parents'.
confused.
I think it was another Dogman at
Oh
your
my
folks. I
gosh.
don't think it was Bigfoot. I think Dogman was trying to get into your folks' home and ran off. Dogs couldn't catch up to a Dogman.
I mean, yeah, well,
I don't think. Yeah,
would you hear a dogman like stomping?
Yeah.
they're 7 to 10 feet tall. Absolutely.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
They are still heavy.
Like if a giraffe walks by, I don't think it's like boom, boom, boom.
those
you
are those
know?
big feet slapping
Yeah.
on the ground.
Giraffes are much bigger than Dogmen, and
That's
I think
what I'm
if
saying.
it ran,
you don't go to
would-
a zoo and it's like shaking.
I've
The
never seen a giraffe run. To be honest, they're always like far away.
This
not, like,
creature
right there.
wasn't running outside the house. It was walking, up to my parents'
Yeah,
house.
that's
maybe
so
it
they
was a
heard heavy
Bigfoot.
footfalls. Also, in that, I think the door was tried because there was a mudroom on the first house.
Mm,
Something happened there.
that's
Yeah,
so
it could have
funny.
been, especially because I don't think Bigfoot's getting up on the roofs, so it could have been.
He would
The
destroy
Dogman.
those.
It's true.
Just crumbling. Oh, I'm sorry,
I
guys.
saw Dogman.
I was
do what I
just
thought I could.
curious.
I just wanted some mustard, guys.
I thought you had some mayonnaise in here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Well, Kennedy, what a good episode.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for sticking with us, Tubbies. Just way to be troopers, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, God, for your protection and your love
Yes.
and
Yep. Say
the
some
sweet dreams you'll
prayers.
bless us with. And thank you.
One thing that I did want to share, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes,
a
after
very
the high
common,
God note.
Yeah, I know. One of the very common themes for not deer is you're not supposed to talk about them.
That's so
It
funny.
supposedly gives them power.
I see.
Great. They're like juiced
So-
up now.
I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
thank you to all who have listened. Share, not in detail, just the names of your favorite cryptids and what haves and what nots. Because
Mhm.
we're curious what you're into. But thanks for sticking around. We will catch you on the flip side. Sweet dreams, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Sleep well.
Hey guys, it's your girl Kennedy wrapping up today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. We're so happy and we're so grateful that you hung out with us today. If you liked what you heard, please share this podcast far and wide and follow us here and on social media so you never miss an episode. Also, we would love to know your thoughts and if you have any topics you'd like us to chat about. So let us know. Thanks again for listening and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!